I'm an ENTJ, so extrovert, intuitive, thinker, and judge personality type. Do you think personality tests could correlate to whether or not one is a fit to do demos?
Well, that is an interesting and potentially challenging topic. I have known a huge range of personality types, and I would say that generally speaking, successful pre-sales people are comfortable communicators. So that's probably more towards the extrovert side. Although when you ask pre-sales people, would you perceive yourself as an extrovert or introvert, they will generally label themselves as the more introverted side of things. So there's an interesting dichotomy that goes on here. How people choose to perceive themselves and how they actually act may be two different things. Um, Here's one way to look at this. Instead of a personality test,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing an interview for a pre-sales person, what I recommend is to do the normal, review the resumes and call references or whatsoever. But very, very often, vendors will or a company will bring the candidate in and say, do a presentation. Okay, and what we're assessing there is their ability to communicate outwards. That's been done for salespeople and pre-sales people for years and years. What I added to that mix, or recommend adding to that mix, is to ask that pre-sales person to do a discovery call with you, whatever topic they want, because you also want to assess their ability to ask questions and hold a conversation. And I don't know where it stands on the ENTJ, or other personality type spectrum, but I find this is a very, very effective way to actually assess candidates, pre-sales candidates' abilities for the skills that we really need them to be able to act on. Does that help?
Yeah. And and then if we, you said this about the test, but what about, could the assessment be maybe a continuum? I mean, for how they do demos.
I think definitely so. Now, demos are people that do demos typically are victims of momentum. They're victims of momentum. What I mean by that is whatever we have previously seen is what we tend to do. So the first time you see a demo, if you're planning to do a demonstration this Friday and you've never seen a demo of the software, you ask a colleague to show you a demo. They show you a demo, and what they show you becomes imprinted upon your brain as that's the pathway that I should follow because I don't know any other choice. That's where we tend to be victims of momentum. So I don't know if this is really answering your question clearly, but this is what we have to battle. We have to say, okay, I understand what I have seen. Now, how do I reassemble this in the appropriate pieces for this particular job title, that particular job title, this other particular job title?
Now I'm thinking, I was using this as a use case for large companies like Oracle, or one of those mega, multi-million billion-dollar companies that have teams so large that they're able to actually make sub teams or subcategories, like pre-sales. You obviously have the account executive, then you have the account manager, you have a sales engineer, but then you also have a demo engineer, someone who's working just solely on preparing the demos or putting the RFPs together, and that's it, while the sales engineer is working ad hoc, working individually, and custom making their talk track, whatever, for those specific customers. Continuum, I guess I was thinking as an assessment for, hey, let's see where we may want to put this individual within this pre-sales area. What could he or she do? Like, so this was like, something that I was like just thinking about in my head as a continuum for where companies could be like, all right, well, we see that he or she is strong in this area of pre-sales, so we're going to put them here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's a really interesting topic. So when you look at a small organization, let's say less than 100 people, in many cases, the people that are called pre-sales, they're actually doing pre-sales. They're often helping with lead gen. They're doing pre-sales. They may be doing a little bit of sales, and they're often doing customer success and maybe even some customer support. They're doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you when you multiply that company size by a factor of 10 or 100,
Mhm.
and you're now up at 1,000 or 10,000 employees, you get specialization across each of those elements. And as you just pointed out delightfully, that could provide you with some analysis as to, what is the best fit for this person. So, for example, if you've got somebody who really understands the technology and the software, and understands what customers want, but is not comfortable being the presenter, man, put them in charge of the demo environment and building out the demos infrastructure for each new release and so forth. Conversely, if you have people that are gifted presenters, they're clear, they connect really well, wow, put them in the EBCs, the executive briefing centers, for example. And so doing an assessment, as you're saying, to really look at their personality types, where their strengths are, their weaknesses are, and so forth. If you've got this ability to specialize that way, that's a terrific way then to slice and dice your population.
The Tony Moze Podcast.